DJ Middle Craig of Craig's Maelstrom here. I have one of the members of Lisa Barca with me today. Hey, how's it going? Would you like to introduce yourself and what position you do in the band?
Hey, Craig, thanks for having me. So my name's Lisa, and I am the songwriter and lyricist and singer and rhythm guitarist for my project. It's a solo project right now. I have all these songs that I've written, and I wanted to jump into recording them. So I've been working on my album, and I'm also putting a live band together so we can play some shows once the album is out.
Please go back in the history of Lisa Barca and how the band all got started.
Sure.
Still there?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I was wanting you to go back in the history of your band and how it
Oh,
all
sure.
started.
Okay. So I've been writing songs for a long time. I write lyrics first. I put music to them. I work them out on guitar. I play guitar, and that's how this all started. And I had a bunch of songs. I've been wanting to record them for a while. Last year, I went into the studio, Fullwell Recording Studio here in Phoenix, Arizona, and started recording with producer Colby Peoples. Before that, I played in a few different punk bands and was playing things more in the style of, say, Sleater Kinney or even Dead Kennedys. This new project is a little bit more diverse and eclectic than that. And that's the history up until now. It's me and my songs. And once we got this live band ready and going, we're going to do some shows.
Right on. Who designed the Lisa Barca band logo?
Oh, well, thanks, Craig. That's a really interesting question. I don't actually fully have a logo yet, but I'm going to be working on one. And just a little sneak peek, it's probably going to use some elements from my tattoo here, which has Forget Me Nots in it, which is also the name of my upcoming single and probably the name of the album. So there will be a logo, but it's not finished yet.
Okay, all good. I wasn't sure you had a logo already designed or if you were in the process of doing one. My bad.
You're fine. No, it's a great question because I have been thinking about it. And I have a friend who does graphic design, and we were just sort of brainstorming about it. She said, why don't you use your tattoo? Like, use some pieces from your tattoo and we'll kind of put them together in a design with your name. So that is coming. Stay tuned.
Cool. You dropped your album back on January 16th, 2024. Where can the album be ordered or purchased? The 4 songs you have done so far.
So here's the thing. It's going to be coming out this fall, and people will be able to pre-save it on Spotify in September. And after that, it will be on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, every place. And if they want to follow me at Lisa Barca Music, so my last name is Barca, so Lisa Barca Music, you can find me on all the social media platforms and be ready to stream the album when it comes out.
Don't know if this one's able to be answered yet either. Who designed the Lisa Barca album cover art?
This is a great question. So it is coming. It has not yet been revealed. I have done a photo shoot that came out really well, and I'm very excited about it. So I have a picture in mind that I'm going to use for the album cover, and I think I'll be designing it myself, just using that photo and experimenting with some different fonts. But it's going to be very cool. It's very striking, and yeah, it's going to be great.
What are the band's immediate music career goals?
Yeah, so my goal right now is to get this album finished and get it out. I'm really excited about it. It's got everything from songs that could be considered to be in a pop punk genre to just like straight up hard hitting, heavy rock. I've got stuff that's in like almost a metal genre, prog metal. So that's the first goal, is get this complete the recording and get the album out there. And then I'm planning to do a couple of local shows, a regional tour leading up to a national tour next year to support the album.
Right on. And just so you know, before we get into one of the songs I want you to talk about, off the four-song sampler, I wanted to let you know I consider yourself to be a melodic rock style.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's a great descriptor, Craig.
What are the themes and concepts behind the song Beauty and Brains?
Thanks for asking about that. So that song is it's a little self-deprecating, the title and the opening lines. I ultimately I would say it's about just wading through all of the just uncertainty and difficulty and suffering and seeming meaninglessness of life and finding a moment of transcendence or joy or clarity in the midst of that. So it ultimately has an uplifting message. It goes to some dark places, but it has an uplifting takeaway, I think.
Just so you know, that was actually my personal song off the four-song sampler. That was my favorite. I thought all songs were equally mixed and very well done.
Thank you, Craig. I that's really great for me to hear because I'm thinking about the order that I'm going to put the songs on the album, and my producer Colby Peoples, who is amazing, and his sonic footprint is just all over this album. He was saying that Beauty and Brain should be first on the album, so now I'll tell him that you said that it was your favorite one, and that may end up being a good reason to put it first.
What are some of your favorite moments when in the studio?
So I love the studio in general. I've learned so much through recording, just about technologically, but also just in terms of performance and how a song really comes together and comes to life. Vocal tracking days are always really fun when I go in there and sing. It really sort of just puts things under the microscope, I guess, where I'm just really paying it. I get to really focus on all of the nuances of everything that I'm doing with my voice, pitch and cadence and dynamics, also breath. So that's always a real challenge and a real gratifying moment in the studio. Drum tracking days are also really fun because it's kind of, there's, just a lot going on. And we have an amazing drummer on the album, JB Cochise. I really love all of the moments that we spend in the studio. We have a lot of fun. We joke around a lot. We get really crazy, but we have a really strong work ethic. So we always get things done. So I love the craziness and the silliness, and I love also the work and the great outcomes that we're getting.
This next one might get you laughing a little bit, but I feel as if you want to ask all the vocalists slash musicians I talk to, please give some vocal tips or advice for starting vocalists.
Wow, that's such a fantastic question, Craig. So, for starting vocalists, let's see. Well, relax, relax, breathe. I know this sounds very basic. I mean, I feel like I'm always learning. I'm not some person who's like this big expert on it, but I mean, I guess for me, when things tend to come out the best is when I'm just really in the story that I'm telling, and I'm really saying it. Like I'm really saying the words to an audience who's either right in front of me or who I can imagine. And so, yeah, just relax and say it the way you would speak it, except just with that extra emotion and the pitch and all of those other nuances that come from the musical delivery. And don't take yourself too seriously. It's real easy to do that and start getting really self-critical. So that's another thing I would say. Try to take it light and enjoy the process.
What social media platforms can the band be reached on?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Lisa Barca Music. I have a TikTok now. This is a little bit of a new thing. I have a friend who's helping me with social media now. So we actually just posted our first video on TikTok yesterday, which is exciting. And there's going to be a lot more. So I'm on TikTok also. It's Lisa Barca Music, or that my handle is Rock Goddess PhD. That would be another way to find me on TikTok. And I've YouTube. I have both the YouTube channel that's created by the distributor CD Baby, but then I also have my own YouTube channel where I post lyric videos and other things that aren't on the other YouTube. So yeah, those 4 platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
What are some of the band's musical influences?
Yeah, so but I have so many influences. I would say almost everything that I've listened to over the years is as in some way an influence, even if it's not totally conscious all of the time. But I mean, I get compared a lot to bands that are make sense, that are influences like Veruca Salt or L7 or maybe some of the Riot Girl stuff from the 90s. The explosion of 90s rock, of female fronted 90s rock, was really a turning point for me. Just this, this idea that as a woman, that I could pick up an electric guitar, play loud, write my own songs, uh, do my own thing, and assert this artist identity as a rock musician. That was really huge for me. But I love everything from just old school punk to I listen to jazz singers sometimes like Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday. I love a lot of bands from the early 2000s, garage rock revival like the White Stripes or the Strokes. Um, Liz Phair, just as a songwriter and an artist, is a big influence on me, and it goes on and on. But those are some of the major ones.
One of the ones that got me started into music back in the 70s, because I was born in 75, was brought into attention by my dad. That's from the blues genre, Muddy Waters.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
B.B. King were two of the influences that got me started into music. And then I got heavier as the years went on, got into stuff like Judas Priest, L7,
yeah.
Benediction, Benedictum, Marduk, heavy stuff like the death metal, grind metal stuff. I even do hard rock, heavy metal, I'm all over the genre because I love music in general.
Yeah. Yeah, those blues players, like you just mentioned, Muddy Waters. I mean, that's in some ways that's where it all that's where it all starts. That's really the foundation. So that's why I love to go back and listen to that more rootsy stuff, even like pre-rock, kind of music like that, in that blues genre that you talked about. So yeah, that's awesome. And then there's so many artists. Like I love Jimi Hendrix, Elvis Costello is another male artist that I really like. But yeah, those are really cool bands that you mentioned.
One from the country genre, and I don't usually go into country much, but the one that I love most out of the country area, Johnny Cash, who's gone now.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did an awesome song that my girlfriend always has a hard time listening to called Hurt.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I know that one.
That one was the last song he did. There's a video
Oh,
for it on YouTube. It
yeah.
is deep. It's about drinking and alcoholism and addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously something that he's struggled with. I mean, that's such a, important and challenging topic for so many, so many of us. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, at the studio where I record at Full Well, there's actually this great poster of Johnny Cash, like just given the finger. I don't know if we're allowed to do this on this, but it's just like this. And it's really cool. I try to get it in the background of some of the photos that I take in there because it's such a cool poster.
That's awesome that you are really into Johnny Cash and other music as well. And we've got two more for the interview, and we'll get the station IDs from you, Lisa, if you don't mind.
Oh, we'll get what?
The station IDs after that, if you don't mind.
Oh,
As in
sure.
station
Yeah.
IDs for the
Yep.
stations.
Yep. I'm good.
Second last question of the interview is, what advice do you have for people who want to form their own bands?
Well, I mean, I can really only speak for myself, but I think probably this really solid foundation is going to be the songs, the song craft. It's so important to have good players and excellent execution and to work on all of those things. But it's the songs that is really going to make all of that into something meaningful. So say focus on songwriting, whether that's individual. Some people just write songs individually alone. Others write them collectively. Up until now, I've written songs by myself. Like I just author the whole song. And then Colby, my collaborator in the studio, will, occasionally, offer some changes in arrangements or a slight change in a chord progression or something. But focus on the songcraft, whether it's just an individual songwriter or a group effort, and find people that, of course, that you can get along with and that you like hanging out with. Of course, y'all need to be able to play well together and have that vibe working just sonically, be able to make a good sound on stage and in the studio. But if you enjoy hanging out with each other, that's going to affect the music. That's going to affect people's energy. It's going to affect your movements on stage. People can pick up on that sort of thing. So that's really important too, that you kind of enjoy hanging out with each other.
That was the last question of the interview, and then I'll need the station IDs. What new band news do you have on the Lisa Barca front? As in anything we might have missed during this interview?
Well, yeah, well, there is something very, very exciting. So I've got a new single coming out on July 12th. So that's just a little under 4 weeks away. It's called Forget Me Not. And I think you're really going to love it. I think everyone's really going to love it. It's in a bit of a punk metal style. It's like gritty but sophisticated. It's just amazing. Just everyone who's heard it ahead of time really loves it. So keep an eye out for my single Forget Me Not on July 12th.
Right on. And before we get into the station IDs, first of all, I'd like to thank Dave Tedder for setting us up today with this interview between me and you over here at Mangled Music Radio for Craig's Metal Storm. And now that leaves us with the station IDs. First one is Hey, this is Lisa of Lisa Barca, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio. You still there?
Oh, I am. Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you heard the station ID right or not.
Oh, I did. I did hear it.
Okay, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to do this. Get the first station ID for Mangled Music Radio.
Okay. Oh, I have to say it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat it again?
Hey, this is Lisa of Lisa Barca, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Mangled Music. Okay. Hey, I'm Lisa Barca, and you are listening to Mangled Music Radio.
And the second one's for Craig's Metal Storm.
So just my name, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm?
Yep.
Okay. Hey there, I'm Lisa Barca, and you are listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Cool. Thank you very much for the time, and thank you very much for this interview today, Lisa.
You're very welcome, Craig. It was wonderful talking to you.
Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening/day over there in your area.
Okay. All right.
Talk
You too,
soon.
Craig.
Bye.
Have a good one.